started fire about 5 years ago. I did it unprofessionally for about 6 months, not knowing what I was doing, basically just trying random fuels and blowing, and that was really bad. So I decided to get some serious professional help, and found another fire eater. And we actually, here at the local Renaissance Festival, at Colorado Renaissance Festival, if you've ever seen the fire eater there, his stage name is Wilson. He's actually my mentor. I'm a 4th generation fire eater. He was taught from a gentleman named Asbestos, who was taught by Mephisto, and then I was taught by Wilson. I couldn't believe how dumb I was with or not necessarily dumb, but how not thought out it was when I was just doing it on my own. As soon as I became, was mentored and really worked it, I had to learn a lot of different fire safety, different classes of fuels and petroleum fuels, find out what's safer for certain stunts that I do. None of the stuff I do is tricks. Everything I do is real stunts. And so I found out fuels that I could use that would let me do different effects safely through that. And luckily in the 5 years I've never had a real bad burning incident or anything like that. So I got the beard. You know how I'm good. Yeah, that's how you know. And then I started doing sideshow stuff shortly after that. So, I started getting mentored, and then I started breaking into other things because I wanted to do more than fire, although that is definitely my specialty. But any art, I love the fact that it just lights people up. It encourages them to create. When people see that there's creativity in the world, even something as obscure as this. When's the last time you saw a sideshow gig? You see something like that and you realize, wow, I can be part of something bigger, and I can influence the people around me. And I suppose that being able to influence the ones around me in a positive fashion rather than in a negative way, and growing with a sense of community. Every time I do a show and I get a little bit more fans, and from my fans they turn into friends, and then from friends it just keeps on growing and growing and growing, and that keeps me going one footstep after another until I'm sprinting all day long. I've been looking at a couple of different things. Being a street performer in general is a pretty hard life. Street performing, you're most of the time living out of your car, driving to city, doing things like that. I actually am trying to go a little bit more professional route, getting my better gigs. You start independently, getting whatever you can grab a hold to, and then doing it bigger and bigger. You start to do parties and weddings and bar mitzvahs and all sorts of silly stuff, and then you get to your bigger shows where a band asks you to open for them. I just performed at the Time Travelers Circus up in George Lake, which was a 3-day music festival, and they booked me as the headlining performer there, and it was amazing. I never thought that I was even considered on that level, and then when I was able to entertain 500 people at a time, I realized, wow, this is what I want to do. This is what, if I can figure out a way to do this and get paid enough to cover the bills, that's what I want to do, So I definitely want to go on those bigger shows with bands and venues. Maybe there's cruise ships. There's lots of places that you can go to entertain, There's a couple circuses that tour, not just Barnum, but there's smaller circuses, family circuses, that sort of thing. I'd love to do something like that for part of my life, at least. I think it's one of the funnest things I've ever done. Right now, it's just by Facebook. It's facebook.com/Walter the Fire Eater. You can get updates on what I'm doing and all of my shows on there. I have a blog, though, that it's wallyjelly.blogspot.com. You can catch my slam poetry, plus communicate through me with there. I'm also working on my website again, walterburkholder.com or walterthefireeater.com, and those should be up soon. I'm Walter the Fire Eater, and I'm a raw artist.